Now, there's this saying that I hear a lot on Twitter, and that is that the moral busybody is incapable of differentiating between fact and fiction. And often enough, they treat fictional characters like real people, and they treat real people like fictional characters. In other words, the creator, the artist, the person who draws or creates the story about the fictional characters, they are ripe for abuse, for dogpiling, for treating them like the scum of the earth, as if they're a fictional character. While the characters in fiction, they show a lot of compassion about. And here we have an example of such a behavior regarding Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, this game is mired in controversy. You have like different factions having different interpretations about the game. While the game seems to be popular with the normies and is breaking the Steam charts, which, by the way, is literally what I've predicted. Literally what I've predicted. And I actually got pushback and flack from it. Like, my own community, you guys were really upset when a couple of weeks ago I said, like, this game will sell. And I specifically said, like, look, I'm not buying the game. It's not something that I would personally enjoy because I'm seeing a couple of red flags that are telling me this is not the type of content that I would pay money for to be entertained. However, based on the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 sold, based on whatever I'm seeing, I do believe that this game will be a commercial success. And just because I like describe objective reality and I'm using my pattern recognition to arrive to a conclusion that some people don't like, I am the one getting flack. Well, like, I'm sorry, you know, like, if this was a bet, and I would have bet that this game will sell, I would have made money over it. And everyone else that disagreed with me would have lost money over it. And at the end of the day, you know, I think that this is my job as a content creator to actually try and predict certain trends, to actually try to analyze certain issues and explain them in a simpler sense. It's not my job to look at what the comment section is saying and just parrot the opinions back to you. Because if I did that, I would probably be called a grifter. If I did that, my job would be incredibly easy. I would just have to, like, see what's popular on Twitter, what's trending. I would just say the same ideas. If it happens that it's, like, on a 50-50, I would pretend to be a fence sitter, like many other content creators have done. And you know what? Like, maybe I should do that. Maybe this is actually a tactic worth pursuing because it seems that it actually does grow your channel and you get a lot of less pushback and a lot of less angry people in the comment section. So who knows, you know, like maybe for the future I will keep it in mind. I'll just parrot the opinion. I'll see, well, this game is definitely going to be purchased, but I will ask people to boycott because this is what the other content creators are doing. So I need to align myself with everyone else, right? I'm sorry. I went on a tangent. I went on a little bit of a rant, but it's like just one of those things where I knew that I was going to be right, that the game is actually going to be successful, despite the fact that it's going to have woke elements in it. And what can I do? I called it out. But anyway, right, moving back to the original take, where fictional characters are actually treated better than real-life people. There is a character in this game which the developer said it's going to play a minor role. And this is a character which happens to be black, right? So, like, he's a Muslim, and he is in Bohemia during a time period where Muslim people weren't really allowed to travel into the Schengen area. And so, the character turns out that he's not actually a simple side character. He's actually integral to the main plot. He's actually attached to the main quest line. And a lot of people have issue with the character because he seems to be perfect in every way, shape, or form, right? Like, he is more moral than the people in Bohemia. He is criticizing the people in Bohemia for how they treat women, while in his world, right, like in his country, under Sharia, women are treated a lot better. He is talking down to the people in Bohemia. He seems to speak Latin. He seems to be doing a lot of things, right? Like, he's almost like a Gary Stu. And I guess, like, from a narrative point of view, you can say that this makes sense because this is what a Muslim person from that time period would say, right? Like, even today, people who are of the Islamic faith, they still say that women are treated better in Sharia. Like, they have, like, their own talking points, and obviously, you know, being subjective, like, they will promote their culture and say that their culture is superior to that of the European culture. And that's not the issue. The issue that this player is pointing out on Steam is that, okay, well, what about player choice? Like, if he actually gets to act like a Muslim, why can't I act like a person from Bohemia and declare a crusade against him. Like, he is from a different faith. He's bringing all this heresy, trying to poison the minds of the people, right? Like, if the game is about player choice, why can't I kill him? Because in Baldur's Gate 3, you can actually do that. Like, in Baldur's Gate 3, if a character really pisses you off, almost every single NPC, including your character companions, can be killed. And so, this is what this person is asking, right? He responds to Ray Whisper saying, I find it a bit ironic that people are trash-talking Musa while acting the same. If bro wants to talk shit, let him talk shit. It is his opinion, just as the opinion of people about his culture can vary. The way I see it, he is effing around and we'll find out later or not. That depends on the player choice. And my brother in Christ says here, if we set aside the fact that he shouldn't even be in the game as it's basically impossible for him to be there, I don't mind the fact that his character makes those claims. The problem is you can't talk back to him or organize a good old lynching. And because of this, like, again, this is a video game. Like, this is not real. This is not, right? He gets banned saying that this post contains material that promotes violence. The entire game promotes violence. Like, you're actually wielding a sword and decapitating people. Like, what on earth are you smoking? Now, what they are actually smoking is, I'll tell you, these moral busybodies, the forum moderators and all the similar ilk, they are actually psychologists. Like, they are well versed into the human psyche and they know better. And basically what they're doing is they're treating fiction and entertainment like a Rorschach test. They came up, and I don't even know where this nonsense, where this madness first sprung. Like, who is the retard that concluded that you can judge a human being in its entirety based on the fictional content that they consume? So, in other words, if a person likes to watch slasher movies, then he must be a hidden serial killer. If a woman likes to read erotica that's violent in nature, then she must like violence to be done upon her. Like, this is insanity. Like, no, there is a reason why for so many decades we have separated fact from fiction. Because people read different type of fiction for different reasons. I don't even know why I need to say this. I mean, this is the whole shit with, like, video games that are violent cause violence. It's literally the same argument, right? So basically now it's like, well, if you're racist in a video game, you're racist in real life. If you watch South Park, you're a racist. If you watch Married with Children with Al Bundy, you're a sexist and a misogynist pig. That's their arguments. And they're like, when are these fucking arguments going to die off? Like they're just repackaged, rebranded, just to be used again and again and again. And it's like a never-ending circle that there always is the person that requires a moral high and that requires a job in order to be a consultant for a video game company so that they get to be paid a $6 figure in order to, like, use their bureaucracy and their morality and to push it upon the public. I'm so fucking sick of it, honestly. And this is not the first time I see it. I remember, again, like, when fictional characters have more respect than real people. It was a video game, a hero shooter, and one of the characters was non-binary, and they went by the pronouns they, them. The company was really proud of this achievement. Like, they actually included in very promotional trailers, journalists were writing articles. It's like, look how amazing this game is. You get to play. I think the name of the character was Bloodhound, and it's like, look, they got they, them, right? And the people who went on the forum and misgendered the character and would say he, they would get banned for misgendering a fictional character. I remember the same thing happening in Red Dead Redemption. There was this YouTuber who at the time would show clips from the game. He wouldn't add any voice acting or anything, but he would have like an edgy title, like for instance, Deporting Migrants, right? And he would play Red Dead Redemption, and he would lasso people that look Mexican and then carry them over the border. And that was the video. It was like a gimmicky channel, and it made a lot of views, made a lot of subscribers. And one day he did this to a feminist. Like, there's a feminist in the game that's talking about the suffragette movement, and he uses a lasso, catches her, and then drags her throughout the prairie, and eventually leaves her next to an alligator. And that got his channel banned. For something that he did in a fucking video game. And again, like, please help me understand this madness, because it does start to frustrate me to no avail. You're playing a game where you shoot people. Like, you're literally a murderer. Like, you choose to play a game where you're murdering people. You're shooting them with a gun. You're throwing a lasso and beating them up, right? Like, you can do all these things and they're fine, but heaven forbid you cause racismus. There was like another video where it was this game, Watch Dogs. And you had like the ability to look at your phone and you would see like all the information about average people walking on the street. Like, you'd see if they're gay, you'd see if they're furries, you'd see if they like anime, right? And there was like this guy like looking at people, and if he saw something he didn't like saw a little bit of degeneracy, he would shoot the person in the game. Again, same freak out. It's like, I'm sorry, when did we decide that video games are a Rorschach test for someone's personality? Like, are they going to use them when hiring people in the future? You know, like, you look at a job at Microsoft and they'll get you to play an RPG to see, like, what choices are you making? What character you're creating, how you're interacting with the world, and then you get like a score to decide if you get hired or not. It's absolute insanity. The fact that these people that are pushing for this aren't mocked and ridiculed, whatever they happen to be, is baffling to me. Like, how many more decades of this shit do normal people that have a brain have to endure? Just like, what is this focus on entertainment? I want to know. Like, what is this hyper focus on fucking entertainment, on like video games of all things? And the focus is like, no, we need to see and we need to know what every single person on earth plays so that we can judge him in his standard in society. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, like what job he has, if he has a family or not, what other contributions he has to society, if he donates to charity or not, if he like helps people or not. No. Tell me what video games he is playing and what entertainment he enjoys. Because that's like the only thing we can use to judge a person. To tell you, know, I'm pretty sure that when you die and you go in heaven, this is probably what God has for you. Like, he's going to get you to play Red Dead Redemption and see how you're making the decisions. From my knowledge, from my personal observation, my best friend since childhood, he used to like to play as the asshole. In every single RPG, whether it was Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, Star Wars, it didn't matter. He would always play as the worst character imaginable. It was like a comic book villain. And basically, like, he was the absolute douchebag in a video game. He would even go back into a village, kill every single person, loot them, you know, like all that stuff. The man is now married, never got into trouble with the law, is a doctor, is quite successful and renowned, and he's a decent person. Like, none of the video games and the fantasy that he was creating and the stuff that he was making affected the type of person that he became in life. Alternatively, I do know other people that always like to play the lawful good character and to do what's right, and they ended up getting in trouble with the law, or they ended up not being able to find a significant other. In other words, I don't think like games actually tell you about the type of person you're dealing with. I think like games are just for entertainment. Some people are entertained by some things, other by others. Like, for instance, my ex-girlfriend, she really didn't like any type of violence in video games. Like, it literally freaked her out. Any type of violence. Meanwhile, anything that was lewd or sexy, she had no problem with. So, like, she would play a game like Nikke because the violence there is stylized, right? Like, you're shooting at machines. Like, she would have no problem with that. But if you showed her a game like Red Dead Redemption, that would creep her the fuck out. Like, she'd be like, no, I don't want to play this. It's too gory. It's too violent. Right? Now, imagine if she were to impose her standards on everyone else. And she would say, no, like, these games are sick. Like, what type of person would play these violent video games? They're sick, they're disgusting, right? How would we feel about it? Like, we would obviously think, like, woman, just mind your own business. You don't have to play them. Like, no one is forcing you. Like, there are so many games out there, you can choose and pick whatever you want, right? That's the normal response. But no, apparently we're still at this level where you get banned from forums for just having a take about video games. And obviously this is how universities are probably going to assess Zoomers in the future, by checking their Twitch accounts, seeing what games they played and how exactly they played them, what decisions they made. Did they treat the minority characters with respect? When referring to the characters, did they use the correct pronouns? Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.